put straight vegetables. Okay. These are this little thing right here. A banana or a piece of lettuce with it. But that is about 80% water.
Yeah.
So this is mostly water.
Right.
So when you put this in, just put it in a pot, a bucket, put it outside. It's going to first begin to decay, and then it's going to turn into a bucket of soup. Just
So
basically
what's the
water
time
with a
frame?
little bit.
What's the time frame? Because time frame is important to me.
That brought this down by itself. It's going to probably not compost the way you are thinking it is. You're going to have another source of material,
Yeah.
something, to be able to make this to work right. So the nitrogen feeds the organisms, the natural organisms that are in the air and in the soil, to ingest this carbon. So you're trying to have the carbon eaten. This is one of the food sources for the organisms also. So it takes the kind of combination of those. The time frame, if you turn it every single day, probably within a month, you can begin to have it go from distinguishable pieces of fruit with a little bit of this. In about a month, turning it every day, you'll see that it starts to look more like this material over here. Some people will tell you it takes a year. Well, that's if they're just composting this, just straight wood fiber. So there's a lot of ways to do this, and the literature is huge out there. Just go online and start Googling it. I'd have to say probably 90% of it is pretty accurate. You're gonna probably make good decisions if you're following a lot of the websites that are talking about it.
Do you ever have to worry with fibers and
Bring them on. That's just that's one of we teach this thing called FBI. Fungi, the kids love it. Fungi, bacteria, and invertebrates. So that's another type of an organism, like a termite, that would come in there and help ingest them. So the bad part about the termites are, if you use a pallet, some of you might have heard about building a pallet compost bin, and the pallet's not treated wood, within a year that pallet will